And, you know, another interesting piece of news is yellow. No, not fake yellow. The real yellow, the old yellow, the great Zerg player from way back in the day. He is really practicing a whole lot on the Air Force team right now. He is really putting in a ton of effort. And in their recent ranking league, he actually got 5th place on the Air Force team, which if you look at the skill Yellow had when he went there, you know, I don't know what he's been doing, but he was not practicing at all beforehand. But he is really improving himself, and maybe, just maybe, we will see Yellow reemerge. Maybe the Air Force team can start doing better. And I tell you, I would love nothing more for Yellow, the real Yellow, to come back and really show his old-time skills. You know, such a great player from the old days. It'd be very exciting, especially to see a Yellow Boxer rematch. Ooh, that would be awesome. So, you know, that's pretty exciting. And we have another name change in the pro teams, but this one I approve of. OGN Sparkies is now sponsored by Height, which is actually a beer brand here. And they are now the Cool Height Sparkies. So kind of an interesting new name. It's kind of weird that OGN no longer has a team, whereas NBC does. But, you know, having a beer company sponsor, you know, beer is big in Korea. The drinking culture is huge. So, you know, this is a really healthy sponsor to give to the team. And that really bodes well for Korean esports. In a time when foreign esports are having kind of a hard time, Korean esports is still doing very well. So, you know, a beer sponsor, a great thing for them. Good luck to them in the future. I hope that more beers sponsor. It'd be cool to have, you know, all 4 major beers in Korea sponsor pro teams. That'd be kind of interesting. And, well, what else has happened? Pro League is coming back. It has been a while since the Winners League final. And we're actually going to go back to the old Pro League way, where it's just 4 different matches, then an ace if you get to it. Which, you know, it's not as exciting as Winners League. I hope that they figure this out and switch back to Winners League for next season. But, you know, at least Pro League is back. We've not really had a lot of events recently. The only event that we have had recently is really the OSL Finals. And I tell you, that was a close finals. Fantasy against Jaedong. I told you I thought Fantasy was going to win 3-2. You know, he won the first 2 games, and I was thinking, oh, I'm pretty smart, but he's going to win 3-0. He had some great build orders mapped out, really interesting builds. Nothing really Marine Medic-ish because, you know, that's not his forte, and Jaedong is just so strong against that. But, you know, it all came down to the final game, and what an amazing game it was. One thing a lot of people didn't realize is Fantasy on Medusa against Jaedong. You know, Fantasy is over at 3, Jaedong is in the top left. And we have Fantasy bring out a Marine to chase away the drone that's trying to mine out that little mineral area where you try to jump things up the ledge. And, you know, he chases that drone away and then jumps a Vulture up very quickly. Now, this would have been deadly because Jaedong had almost no Zerglings, and he was going for a 2-hatchery Mutalisk build. So up comes a Vulture, and then the camera goes over to see 2 Zerglings and 1 drone running along the back side of Jaedong's base. Now, his timing on this was impeccable. I think most people looked at it and thought, why is a drone with those Zerglings? Did he make a mistake here? But no, this was an extremely well-practiced, flawlessly executed move by Jaedong. He brings over his 2 Zerglings and the drone. He just gets right in the Vulture's face. The Vulture, you can tell Fantasy's like, oh, what's going on here? I'm going to get past this, and then Micro. So he tries to get past them. You know, you can tell he's clicking past, and the Vulture just gets stuck with these 3 units. It's just too tight in there. And Jaedong, before Fantasy can correct his mistake here, ends up killing the Vulture. So, you know, this 1 drone coming up changed the whole flow of the game. Killing that Vulture was absolutely huge. And, you know, Fantasy would have had enough room if he had ever practiced against that before to realize, okay, I have to micro back here, don't lose my Vulture, and kill that stuff and move on. But he didn't. Wow, Jaedong, wow, that was absolutely astounding. And then Fantasy went on to try to both expand and do the Vulture drop against 2-hatchery Muta, and it just did not work out. He dropped the Vultures just as the Mutas were hatching. The Mutas cleaned up the Vultures very quickly. He got maybe 4 or 5 drones, sure, but his turrets and his Valkyries and Goliaths were not ready in time. I mean, he had a few up, but Jaedong just played like it was ZVP. He just flew his Mutalisks over the turrets, you know, let the Scourge fly around and catch the Valkyrie, and there was nothing Fantasy could do about it. So really, you know, he was trying to win the series on build orders. I really thought he was going to. He almost did, But then, you know, just Jaedong's build order was too tight. It punished Fantasy for trying to abuse this much. So, you know, Fantasy once again second place, once again losing 2-3, and Jaedong winning his second OSL. That is huge. There are not many people with two OSL titles, and you know, to be a Zerg to do that, Jaedong is out of control. This guy, best Zerg ever, blowing my mind. What an amazing player. So, you know, a great OSL finals, a fun finals to watch, and you know, that's about it in Korean StarCraft this week. What are we going to see next week? Some more behind-the-scenes videos, some more ESWC commentaries. Make sure you check for that. The American Finals, very exciting games, I'm sure. I'm going to cast them very shortly here. So, you know, that is just about it. Thank you for tuning in once again. Any questions, comments, suggestions, please let us know in the forums. And thank you for watching.